They gave Joni Lamb one of the most beautiful homegoings Christian television has ever seen. A sitting president sent his condolences. The Prime Minister of Israel paid tribute. Joel Osteen stood at that podium with tears in his eyes. Thousands flew in from across the world just to say goodbye. It was glorious. It was sacred. It was everything Joni deserved. But here is what nobody is talking about. While the world was still drying its tears from that funeral, a battle was quietly raging inside Daystar's walls. A battle over money, over power, over who gets to carry the name Marcus Lamb built. And right at the center of it all,
a son, his father's dying wish, and a decision that may have changed Daystar forever. My name is Kingdom Lens, and today we are going all the way in. After the funeral, what really happened to Daystar without Jonathan Lamb?
Before we talk about what broke, we have to understand what was built. Marcus Lamb did not just start a television channel. He built an empire. Daystar Television Network became one of the largest Christian broadcasting platforms on the planet. 24 hours a day, reaching millions of homes across dozens of nations. At Joni's funeral, President Trump said it plainly, that Marcus and Joni built one of the largest Christian networks and ministries in the entire world, touching the lives of millions.
Tremendous faith. She was a tremendous talent. She was a loving person, a person that was just so believable in so many ways. And she's going to be missed. Alongside Marcus, they built one of the largest Christian networks and ministries in the entire world.
Before we talk about what broke, we have to understand what was built. Marcus Lamb did not just start a television channel. He built an empire. Daystar Television Network became one of the largest Christian broadcasting platforms on the planet. 24 hours a day, reaching millions of homes across dozens of nations. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu said Joni brought millions of people closer to God and closer to faith.
And closer to faith, while placing a strong focus on fighting anti-Semitism and combating the spread of lies against the Jewish community and the State of Israel. Repeatedly, Joni said on her program, any true evangelical Christian who reads the Bible understands that the land of Israel was given to the people of Israel. Rest in peace, Joni, a true and great friend of Israel.
This was not small. This was a generational dynasty built on the bond between the Lamb family and their viewers. For decades, people woke up every morning and turned on Daystar, the way you'd call your most trusted friend. Marcus and Joni weren't just TV hosts. They were family to millions. And Marcus, before God called him home, reportedly made one thing very clear. When he was gone, his son Jonathan would carry the torch. That was the plan. That was the wish. It didn't happen. Almost before the grief had settled, before the audience had even processed losing Marcus, a new face appeared on that Daystar set. Dr. Doug Weiss, marriage counselor, author, TV personality. And the speed of his arrival triggered something in the audience that no PR team was ready for. Before long, Doug wasn't just a guest. He was a permanent fixture beside Joni. A romantic relationship had begun. Viewers erupted. One commenter wrote that the two seemed hot to trot before the dust of Marcus's passing had even settled. Others called it the lust of the flesh. But the romance was only the beginning. Here is the part that truly broke the audience's trust. Doug Weiss had been married for 36 years to a woman named Lisa. And while he was sitting on the Daystar set, presenting himself as America's leading marriage expert, speaking on covenant, on faithfulness, on the sacred bond of husband and wife, he had already secretly divorced Lisa. Joni would warmly ask him on air about his wife. He would smile, he would play along. Two realities, one camera, millions watching. When the divorce could no longer stay hidden, Doug needed a way out, so he invented one. He coined the term unfidelity. Not infidelity, the word everyone knows. Unfidelity, a brand new word defined as your spouse failing to meet your emotional needs, leaving you married but alone. Translation, I didn't leave, she failed me. The audience didn't buy it for 1 second. They started calling him the Timu therapist. Looks like the real thing, sounds like the real thing, but the moment you actually need it, it falls apart completely.
Now, here is where this story breaks your heart. Jonathan Lamb, Joni's firstborn son, the man his own father reportedly designated to lead Daystar into the future. Jonathan and his wife Susie were still inside the network. They still had their seats at the table, and they had a front row seat to everything unraveling around them. When Jonathan sat down with Doug and pressed him on actual Bible scriptures, the very scriptures Daystar was built on, Doug reportedly lost his temper completely, used the Lord's name in vain. The marriage counselor could not answer a Bible verse. And then came the ultimatum. Joni and a prominent figure in the ministry allegedly sat Jonathan and Susie down and handed them a script. Not a metaphor, a literal script. A carefully constructed PR narrative about Doug, about the divorce, about the state of the family, designed to present a specific story to the millions of viewers who trusted the Lamb name. 5 words were given. Read it or leave. Susie picked up that script, read it, and said no. She refused to stand in front of the cameras and deliver what she believed was a deception to the loyal, faithful audience that had supported this family for decades. The result? She was fired by her own family. Jonathan, the son his father chose, lost his inheritance. A viewer named TDC718 commented under the funeral video, Marcus Lamb's wishes were for his son to take over Daystar. That needs to be honored. It wasn't. Now, someone might ask, why didn't Jonathan and Susie just go along with it? People swallow hard things every day to keep their jobs, to protect their families, to stay in the room. The fact that they walked away from everything tells you this story goes deeper than an uncomfortable divorce. There are serious allegations, I want to be careful here, involving a relative of Doug named Pete Weiss, and a deeply troubling incident at a lake house involving a child. Susie was present. A housekeeper named Sylvia was present. According to their testimony, a young girl was asked to go upstairs to change, and Pete was seen deliberately following her. Police were called. There was a formal interrogation. During that interrogation, Pete's account reportedly shifted. Multiple contradictory versions. His own lawyer stepping in. And here is what silenced every spin doctor. Other Lamb family members, Rebecca and J.W. Lamb, cut Pete and Rachel off completely. No visits, no access. Their stated reason? To protect their children. You can craft 1,000 press releases, but when your own family locks the door to keep someone away from their kids, that is the statement.
And yet, the next morning, the alarm goes off. The studio lights turn on. Joni and Doug sit down, adjust their mics, look into the camera, and talk about truth, about spiritual integrity, about the danger of letting lies take root. The audience watching at home, the ones who know everything, felt something beyond disappointment. They felt used. They felt used. Comments described the Daystar set as the table of deception. One viewer suggested Doug was brought into Joni's life to take her out. This was not a ratings dip. This was 20 years of parasocial trust, the deep personal bond between a family and their viewers being shredded in real time. So where does Daystar go from here? The founding patriarch is gone. The co-founder is gone. The son Marcus chose has been pushed out. Half the family is estranged, and the man now sitting at that desk built his entire credibility on a marriage he had already secretly dissolved, and a word he made up to explain it. At the funeral, Joel Osteen said something that stayed with me.
Follow the Holy Spirit and tell the people in your life how much you love them. It's nice to not have any regrets. Somewhere today, Jonathan Lamb is living with his decision. The son his father chose. The man who refused to lie. The man who lost an empire to keep his integrity. History will decide if that was foolish, or if it was the only thing worth keeping.
If this video moved you, share it. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think should happen to Daystar, because some stories don't end at the graveside. Sometimes the real fight starts right after the funeral. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.